Well, I'm back. It's the next day, 4th of July, 2019. I really wanted to give a shout out to that policeman, that mountain cop on that road. If that man didn't do what he did, one, he wouldn't have a cop car, and two, um, I wouldn't be able to tell you this story. I wouldn't have been able to have all the kids that I have in my life, and I just wouldn't be. Don't try this stuff at home. Don't even try this on a national park mountain. I wanted to interject here. Whenever you get in a wreck, don't wreck on a national park. I'm just saying, it's federal marshal jurisdiction. And that is a really scary courtroom. I've been in some courtrooms before, but I ain't never been or felt so small as being inside of a federal courtroom. It's like the United States of America is like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't even exist. You know, I can't even. Wasn't cool. Wasn't cool at all. I mean, this is like I don't know, months and months later. I'm gonna have to go into this story later on. I can't go into it right now, but everybody in that courtroom got chewed out by the federal judge that day. Everybody had no ass when we left the courtroom. I had no ass. The police had no ass. Prosecuting attorney had half a ass left. It was bad. But let's get back into this story because I gotta wrap up this cliff of insanity. So I'm looking across the seat, and the voices come back, and they're just like, jump across. It's your only chance. You know, and I'm like, hey, do you have to die? Because that was the only way that I was going to stop being loaded every day. And I got to tell you, if you're here and you're loaded every day, there is a different way. You know, and it takes what it takes. You have to be done being loaded. You've got to get loaded and try every single thing your way first. And when you're done trying everything your way and you know that you can't solve the problem by yourself, that's perfect. Because when you're destroyed is when you can get sober. But I wasn't completely destroyed yet, so I just thought this was the best way to go, and that's why I did this. It wasn't because I don't like life or anything. I just, every day, slamming dope. I remember watching that lady. I'm sorry, I went on a little tangent, but I was watching this commercial with this lady, and she was like, this is your brain on drugs, and she's like frying up an egg. And this is, and, you know, and then this is your family on heroin, and she just like smashes everything in the kitchen with this pan. She just destroys the kitchen, and I'm like, yup, that's exactly what happened. Standing in all the ashes of all the bridges that I burned, nobody left to turn to. Nothing. Nobody wanted to help you because they're just trying to get away from your ass. And alone, motherfucker, alone. I have to tie my shoes because I'm sleeping under the bridge at the end of this using career. I'm sleeping under a bridge. I've got my shoes tied so people don't steal my shoes while I'm sleeping. Got my knife out so I can defend myself. Back over at the cliff. Here we go. So I jump across the seat, and I'm in cuffs, so I just lunge. I grab a hold of that shifting, put it into drive, and I let go of it, and I drop down, and I put my fingers on the gas pedal, and I push down as hard as I fucking can. And I should have been off the cliff at that moment. At that very second, I should have been flying. There's no way that I couldn't be. Except this cop, this policeman, did a Dukes of Hazzard across the hood. He runs, jumps, and in harm's way, slides across the hood on his left side, and he just comes around and he lunges into the window, and he reaches his hand in, and you gotta understand, this man could very easily have died because he was getting in my way. And I was trying. I had that car revved all the way up, all the way. That RPM was like, whoa. Anyway, he goes, pulls it into park, and this thing skids forward. And there's nothing between this car and the cliff anymore. It's on the edge, and it stops. And then someone fucking rips the door open and grabs a hold of my leg and drags me out into the road, and zip ties me on my legs, and like, I don't know, like hog ties me and sits on my ass until the ambulance gets there, and he doesn't let go. Thank you. I mean, this stuff wasn't funny then. I just can't believe I was so fucked up. That street jug shit's no joke. The habit was so bad, I thought this was better than being loaded every day. Maybe it's not better than being loaded every day, but being loaded every day is not better than dying either. Every damn day, a slave. You wake up and it's not you're not in your choices. There's no choices. You get this addiction, like, hello, how you doing today? You're getting fucking loaded. Hurry up, you're gonna get sick. But I don't have any money. Okay, well, that doesn't fucking matter. Better start solving it. Anyway, the ambulance gets there. I'm still pretty angry these people have thwarted me. I've made some honest attempts, but I'm done for that evening, I'll tell you what. They stuck me in the back of that ambulance, and they fucking hog-tied my ass to that gurney, and I did not fucking move. I'm just saying. Didn't move an inch. I couldn't. And this fucker, I don't know, okay, you're not a... I'm sure he's a good person, you know, I mean, he was trying to keep me safe. Pulls out a clipboard, he's just like, alright, so, what's your name? You know, and I'm like, fuck you. Fuckyou. I was trying to help him spell it, I mean, just in case. Anyway, they get me to Good Samaritan in Puyallup. I don't remember the whole ride. I'm cuffed to a gurney, but I'm sitting there now. I'm just like cuffed there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just chilling. I mean, they brought me some food and they set it in front of me, and so I've got my right hand there, and I'm just kind of like eating. There's a bunch of nurses, you know, doing their little nurse thing, and you got your doctors, and there's a policeman somewhere. I'm just sitting there. I'm kind of looking at the food, like poking at the food. I think I was kind of hungry, and that's when it started. I mean, everything was calm, but it was only like the calm in the middle of a storm for me. So then I heard it, my right ear. And it was really low, and it was a feminine voice, and she came in and she said to me, get on your knees and say you love God, you love Jesus, and you love the Holy Spirit. And I denied it. So I better not do that. These people are already got me cuffed to a gurney. I'm good. And then she came back at me more earnestly in my ear, And she said it again, but this time she just shook my whole soul, like in my person. She said, "Now, Kia, you're fighting for your soul. Say I love God, say I love Jesus, and say I love the Holy Spirit, and don't stop." I'm like, well, these people are gonna think I'm crazy anyway, so let's do it. And I started. I jumped off the gurney, and the gurney came with me, I think. And I'm on my knees, and I started screaming it as loud as I could. Cause I mean, I really don't know where you are, or where you were, or how many times you went there, but and if you want to judge me, like, go right ahead. I don't give a fuck. But until you like walked a mile in my shoes, you know, and had to fight the demons I fought, I'm just really not gonna take your opinion very seriously, you know. And if you want to know where I went, you go light a Bible on fire and tell God you break all His commandments and see what happens to you. But here we go. So I'm screaming this thing. I love God, I love Jesus, I love the Holy Spirit. I love God, I love Jesus, I love the Holy Spirit. But I'm screaming it at the top of my lungs. And that's what did it. I screamed it, I'll have you know, until I had no voice box anymore. There was no screaming. I could not say it. I couldn't physically say it anymore, but my lips were moving that. They had wheeled me into a room, and there was a lady there, and they had me both on the gurney, and another lady like came in with something in a syringe, and she was giving that to me, but I wasn't stopping. I wasn't messing with her or nothing. She was gonna do that shit all she wanted, and this other lady sat there and read me my rights right there in the middle of the hospital. She, I don't know, read me my Miranda or whatever. Like, I don't know, arrested me in a hospital. But whatever, I don't know. So, but they hit me with some shit, dude. Like, I never had whatever they put in that needle before, because that shit was putting me down. I remember just, like, when they put it in, I was done. You know, I was like going back. They didn't need to restrain me anymore. I was going down. I think they took the cuff off me, and then I just laid on that gurney. And I remember looking up, and there was this orderly. I don't know if they call them orderlies now, but I think it was an orderly then. He was pushing me into a dark room, and he had a smile. I think he was just trying to be nice, but the voices in my head were like, he's gonna do bad stuff to you. And I'm like trying to fight myself to stay awake, but I couldn't.